Welcome to human review training using Answer Agent and Langfuse. You're here because your domain expertise is invaluable, and our AI agent can process information quickly, but you define what's good and what's quality. In the next few minutes, you'll learn exactly how to review answers in Langfuse, how to score them effectively, and how to leave actionable feedback. The goal is simple. After today, you'll have everything you need to provide clear, meaningful reviews that improve our AI system. So each review takes just a minute or two. You'll open up a queue, see a question that the AI's answered. You'll give it a score. You'll give it a quick note and then hit complete and go on to the next one. That's it. The more examples you review, the smarter and more consistent the agent gets. So what defines a good, high quality answer? Well, first off, a good answer is factually correct and grounded in the right sources. And it's relevant to the question that was asked. It needs to be complete enough to be helpful and also clearly formatted. If any of these are missing, we want to know. And use this 5-point checklist to evaluate. And if you see problems, grade them accordingly and leave a short note. You don't need to fix the answer. Just tell us what's going wrong or missing. So for instance, you'll want to check, is it factually correct? Is the answer grounded in the provided sources? So for instance, did it use the correct documentation or did it just hallucinate something? Did it answer the question that was asked? And is there anything important that you would, as the domain expert, add to enhance the question? And lastly, is it clear and is it properly formatted? This is where you're going to be looking for clarity, structure, just so that it is the best possible response. So to get started and to access your queue, first, you'll want to navigate into Langfuse. You'll log in with your email and you'll open a human annotation queue. And where that is over on the left. You'll see human annotation and there will be maybe one or many queues assigned to you. Here, you'll want to go on and you'll say process queue. Here, you will actually do a majority of your work. So, how to understand the review screen. On the left panel, it's going to be the content to review. This is what the AI agent was asked and the answer that it gave. And the right panel is going to be where you add your assessment. So if I go back in here, I can see that there was a question or an input, and here is the output. There's also some other data in here that you may or may not find helpful, depending on your queue and what you're reviewing. But over here, I have a basic scoring rubric, so where I can add comments, I can add a score, I may be able to add a true and false, or also choose from categories. Your scoring rubrics will be different per queue. So overall, you'll have at least a score rating. So score it from 1 to 5 based off of the checklist that I just provided, based off its completeness, its accuracy, its clarity. You'll also want to add any simple yes/no Booleans for the assessment of factual accuracy or helpfulness or any of the other evaluations that we might be looking at any given time. And then there's also the ability to add optional issue tags. So being able to say what those common problems are that have already been set up. So for instance, if it's missing context, if it's off topic, or if it has a formatting issue. So for instance, in here, we're looking for, is it an answer agent question? Is it a general AI question? Or is it not relevant? As this queue is related to our own answer agent support bot that we use at Answer Agent. So how to assign the quality scores? So a score of 1 means it's unusable. It's not going to be this, you would never want to put this in front of your customers or your users. It could be wrong, it could be misleading, potentially even harmful. Like these are the worst answers possible. They just can't be used. Number two is, it's largely incorrect. It's off topic. Maybe it's missing some critical information. It's just poor. It's just a really bad response. Then there's going to be this kind of mixed, right? Where it's partially correct, but it's missing a lot of key details. Maybe it has significant gaps. Then you're going to have good, where basically it's mostly correct, but you still have some nitpicks, maybe, some small improvements. And then fives, really save those fives for really just the absolute best. These are the ones that are correct. They're factually accurate. They're grounded in their sources. They're complete. They're clear. They're formatted well. And if that was the response, you'd be happy that was the response, and it's ready to use as is. These are the ones that are going to create your what we call golden set of questions. So use this to assign quality scores. Some common templates that you can use, simply just copy and paste some of these. So for instance, you want to be correct, but it's missing something for answers that are accurate or maybe incomplete. Maybe it doesn't cite its sources. It doesn't provide its references, or maybe the references were incorrect. Maybe it was off topic. So for instance, it didn't even answer the question that was asked. Like it missed the whole point of the question or the task that it was given. You'll also want to look at formatting issues. So for instance, was it expected to be in a particular format? Did it have links? And were those links actually valid? And then, of course, if there are any safety or compliance issues, always really address those. So any regulatory safety concerns that may have been responded. So for instance, let's say you were reviewing a queue for a process that analyzes products for medical supplies. So some of the key things that you might want to review is, for instance, did it actually get the specifics of the product, like its dimensions, its materials, its technical specs, and did it match any official documentation? Did it recommend accessories, or are things actually compatible with that product? Is it the most up-to-date information? Were there any regulatory notices, like for instance FDA, or any sort of certifications that may have been mentioned or that you would expect to be in the analysis? And then, of course, any direct links that are in the response, make sure you check those as well. So when to mark something as incorrect or bad. So one, the facts do not match the source, meaning that it contradicts. It says that the answer is this, but the true source documents say something else, meaning that it hallucinated. It just invented products. It invented features or other details that just don't exist in the source. Did it have wrong or broken links? So for instance, it was this AI agent was responsible for searching the web and providing news articles or links to other medical devices. These are all things that you want to check in the response as well. And then, of course, always unsafe or non-compliant. So anything that violates any safety protocols, regulatory requirements, your standard operating procedures, your industry standards, these are things that you want to mark as incorrect. So the ones that are mostly right, like your 3s and 4s, give those scores of 4 when the core information is completely correct. But minor refinements like the style, the tone, maybe some little pieces there could be improved, but the overall content is solid. And then give it a 3 when the core is correct, but maybe it's like missing one piece of detail. Maybe it's just incomplete, or it lacks important context that you as the domain expert know and understand. And ones that just kind of partially address the question, but aren't considered full. So the best practices, the do's and don'ts. Do be specific, meaning, do one clear sentence beats any sort of vague feedback. Use the templates that I discussed earlier. You want to stay consistent. Use the same scoring for every item and how you evaluate it based off of, try to stay consistent over time. And always verify any links that it provides. If it has a link in there, make sure that you click on the link and you can verify that it actually has information on that web page and it is relevant to the answer. Always avoid writing any sort of essays, long commentary on what it could have done. These try to keep it short. Don't guess at the tech. Don't guess at the underlying, what it could have done. Oh, it should have done this. Just answer. Don't worry about the system internals. And don't skip on safety. If you see any compliance, any safety concerns, anything that might be harmful to the company or anything else, please flag those. And honestly, you need to spend at least 1 or 2 minutes per item for a thorough review. You want to go in, you want to look at it, you want to read it. Quality is always going to beat quantity. I would rather you have 10 excellent reviews than just a bunch of rushed ones, because this is the data that your AIs learn from. So you want to give it the same sort of time and attention that you would give a new intern or a new employee in training them. You want to have 100% focus, but this is a 24/7 queue. Dip in, dip out when you have a half hour here or an hour here. Just start to go through it, and the more you get through, the better it's going to be. But really, you use this time where you have 100% focus and you can spend 1 or 2 minutes on each. So to submit your review and kind of continue on, so it's pretty simple. Just assign your scores, add your comments, and then just hit complete and next. And I'm going to show you that in here. So if we go in here, I would add my scores, give it a true. Was it helpful? Kind of, but it wasn't really relevant. So I'm going to say it was false. I'm going to say it was 2. I'm not really sure because of the context of this support bot. This is asking about Snapchat. We don't even have a Snapchat integration, so this is obviously not relevant to anything that Answer Agent provides. So I'm going to give it a 2 because it wasn't really harmful. It wasn't there. I'm going to add, was not relevant to Answer Agent, and that's it. Save the changes and hit complete and next. What that's going to do is it's going to pull up the next question, and once again give you the scores, and you go through this. Now, if there's ever any times where you need to know the full session, so for instance here, please help extract numbers, and come up here. Maybe this is part of a bigger session and a bigger chat. You can click on this session and you can kind of see where it is in the context of the entire conversation. How did it relate to the conversation? How is it there? So for instance, hi, can you see me, the URL I'm currently using? Sorry, can't do that, even though it then pasted it in there. So once again, these would be ones that weren't really relevant to support, but it looks like more. And as you can see, this cost us 47 cents. So this is why we want to have these evaluations so that we can start having our support bot really focus on support related issues. So how is your feedback going to drive improvement? Well, one, it helps train the quality standards. So it's going to, your feedback teaches the system what good means. We use it to fix our prompts, our data, and help track improvements over time. And you're not training a replacement. You're scaling your judgment. So your help is very valuable to this process. So just to recap, open the queue, review the item, apply the scoring rubric, add your comments, hit complete, and continue. And some of the questions were asked, what if you're unsure about a score? Just pick the closest that matches your assessment, but just try to be consistent over time based off the criteria that you choose and that has been presented to you by your trainer. what if the answer conflicts with the reference? Meaning, like, hey, this answer said this, but the reference said, like, for instance, the URL or the product or the domain said something else. Mark it as incorrect, or give it a score and tell it what the difference is in the comments. If there are no references provided, that's where your domain judgment, your professional expertise, state what you assume it should have been and put that in the comments so we understand your reasoning as well. And then if you see any sensitive or compliant items, please flag those and let us know with a little bit of a brief explanation of the issue and why it is sensitive or why it could be a compliance issue. Some of the pitfalls to avoid: don't over penalize style. So don't reduce the score significantly for like style, formatting preferences. These are all very subjective over time. So, if it's just the minor style things, like give it like a 4, but don't over penalize it because of the style. Don't ignore the links. This is a common pitfall. AI will just hallucinate links that don't exist, so make sure that you're checking those. Do not add essay comments. Remember, short comments are your friend. And don't change your standards over time. Try to keep your scoring criteria consistent throughout your review session. So here is your pocket guide. Keep it open while you do your review, and thank you so much. Your expertise is what will make this work. And if you get stuck or have any questions with scoring, reach out at any time. Thank you.